Hi guys, Robbie46 here. The MotoGP had their final pre-season test at Qatar over the past few days. Started on Saturday and finished yesterday. 3 days. Unfortunately, due to rain yesterday, they didn't get to do any time whatsoever because when it rains in Qatar, because it's at night and it's floodlights, if it rains, they can't go out because of the glare from the lights. So yesterday was cancelled. Well, not really, but they just put the red flag out the whole session, so no riders could go out. But on day one, it was Andrea Iannone on the factory Ducati who set the fastest time of a 1:55.2, closely followed by his teammate Andrea Dovizioso with a 1:55.3, only just shy of a tenth slower than his teammate Iannone. Marquez was third with a 1:55.5. Alicia Espargaro on the Suzuki, he got fourth with a 1:55.6. Pedrosa was fifth with 1:55.8. Lorenzo sixth with a 1:55.8 as well. Cal Crutchlow getting quicker on that Honda, seventh, 1:55.8. So Pedrosa, Jorge and Crutchlow really close together. Rossi was 8th with 1:55.9, just a tenth behind the next three. Bradley Smith was 9th with a 1:55.9, really close to Rossi. And Scott Reddin 10th with a 1:56.1. Going a bit further down the order, Maverick Vinales was 11th with a 1:56.1. Nicky Hayden 17th, 1:57.0. Jack Miller 19th, 1:57.2. Eugene Laverty was 22nd with a 1:57.5. And the two Aprilias were 25th and 26th. Bautista been 25th with a 1:58.4 and Melandri with a 1:58.9. So that was day one. On to session two now, and it was Andrea Dovizioso who led the way, and it did bring back the revival of the little winglets on the front of the Ducati, you may remember from a few years ago. So Dovi was quickest with a blinding time of 1:54.9, which was 2 tenths quicker than Casey Stoner's lap record. So Ducati's on it at the moment. Marquez was second with a 1:55.09, just 0.184 off of Dovi. Iannone was third with a 1:55.1, almost 2 tenths off of Dovi and a hundredth of a second behind Marquez. So the Ducatis, they are really quick at the moment, but a bit like last year, we know that they're quick over one lap, but we don't know, and we won't know until the first race, how they can keep up the pace during the race. I'm not trying to rhyme, but that's just the way it came out. Jorge Lorenzo was fourth with a 1:55.5, half a second off of Dovizioso and 0.3 off of Iannone. Rossi was fifth with a 1:55.5, also 6 tenths off of Dovi and 8 hundredths off of Lorenzo. All the Yamahas were pretty much complaining about rear grip. They reckon that the track surface grip-wise wasn't as good as last year, but hopefully come the race they can get back on it. Danny Pedrosa was 6th with a 1:55.5 as well, 6 tenths off of Dovi and a thousandth of a second behind Rossi, so really close there. Cal Crutchlow was 7th with 1:55.6, 7 tenths off of Dovi and 4 hundredths of a second behind Pedrosa, sorry. Bradley Smith was 8th with a 1:55.6, 7 tenths off of Dovi and 2 hundredths of a second behind Crutchlow. Paul Espargaro was ninth with 155.6, 7/10 off of Dovi and a hundredth of a second behind his teammate Bradley Smith. So Crutchlow, Smith and Espargaro really close together. 10th place, bit of a surprise. Carol Abraham with a 155.7, 8/10 off of Andrea Dovizioso and a 10th off of Paul Espargaro. Now we know in the last testing session at Sepang, he was trying to find toes off of people and annoying quite a few riders. So whether he done that again to get that time, we don't know. But nevertheless, a pretty quick time on the Open Honda. Yoni Hernandez was 11th with a 155.7, 8/10 of a Dovi and 7/1000 of a second behind Abraham. Elisha Spargaro was 12th. He did a 155.7, 8/10 of a Dovi and 2/100 of a second of a Hernandez. Scott Reddin 13th. He did a 155.8, 8/10 of a Dovi and 8/1000 of a second of Espargaro. So you've got Abraham, Yoni, Hernandez, Espargaro and Scott Reddin all really close together, just a 10th separating all of them. Maverick Vinales, he was really close to him as well actually, in 14th. He did a 155.8, 9/10 off of Dovi and 7/1000 of a second behind Scott Reddin. Hector Barbara was 15th, 156.0, 1.1 seconds off of Dovizioso and 0.2 of a second behind Maverick Vinales. Nicky Hayden next up in 16th with a 156.1, 1.1 off of Dovi and 0.04 of a second behind Barbara. Mike DiMeglio was 17th, 156.2, 1.3 off of Dovi and a 10th off of Hayden. Eugene Laverty 18th with a 156.3, 1.4 off of Dovi and 0.08 of a second behind DiMeglio. Michele Pirro 19th, 156.4, 1.5 off of Dovi and a 10th off of Laverty. Stefan Bradl was 20th with 156.7, 1.1 off of Dovi and 0.2 off of Pirro. Bradl a bit far down compared to where he's been previously in testing, where he's been in like the top 10 and top 15. So a bit strange to see him all the way down there, but we'll see what happens. Jack Miller 21st with a 156.7, 1.8 off of Dovi and 0.03 of a second behind Bradl. Danilo Petrucci was 22nd of 156.7, 1.8 off of Dovi and 0.04 of a second behind Jack Miller. Loris Baz 23rd, 1 minute 56.9, sorry, 2 seconds off of Dovi and a 10th off of Petrucci. Bautista 24th, 157.2, 2.3 off of Dovi and 0.3 off of Baz. Alex DeAngelis in 25th, 157.3, 2.4 off of Dovi and a 10th off of Bautista. And finally, bringing up the rear again is Marco Melandri in 26th, 157.9, 3 seconds off of Dovizioso and half a second off of DeAngelis. So that concludes testing, guys, and you know what that means. It is close to racing time, just a couple of weeks, and we'll be good to go with the first race of the MotoGP 2015 season, and I can't wait. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and I shall see you guys in the next video. See you!